more from me at the luncheon today to introduce sort of some of my thoughts about employee ownership. But today we're going to be having Senator Sanders. And for those of you who don't know, as of last week, he has announced his candidacy for president. So his schedule got a little bit tighter. So yesterday when we met with him, he said he will not be here till 8:30. So we know we're running up against chapter meetings, but it'll be well worth your time. We'll all be a little late to our chapter meetings, but I think you'll find him to be a fantastic speaker for as much time as we get him. So around 8:20, Dave and I will head down and we'll meet the senator and bring him on up. But for now, we thought we would have Michael do just a couple of updates on the PAC and certain things that are happening that in terms of bills that just got introduced, and which, by the way, just so you know, the Senator Cardin bill, which we'll talk about, already has been signed on by Senator Leahy and Sanders of Vermont as of yesterday. So that was good news. So anyways, I apologize that we have a delay, and I'm really excited. When I heard his candidacy last week, I'm like, no, not before the PAC Breakfast. I promised everybody he'd be here, and he's not going to let us down. He'll be here, so I appreciate you taking a little extra time to be here today and to wait it out, so it'll be well worth it.
Thank you very much. Let me introduce my wife, Jane. Jane, you here? There she is. It's an honor and privilege to be with you this morning. The work that you're doing is enormously enormously important, and it's something that I support, as you know, very, very much. I don't have to tell anybody in this room that the American economy is in severe trouble. We have a middle class which is disappearing. We have a grotesque level of income and wealth inequality. Since 1999, we have lost 60,000 factories in the United States and millions of good-paying jobs. And maybe what is most important is that this morning, millions of people are going to get up, they're going to get out of bed, and they're going to go to work. And you know what? They don't like the jobs that they have. We don't talk about that as a nation. But you've got millions of people who go to work, as I have, when I was young, to do a job that they don't like, they don't feel part of, where they feel they are a cog in a machine, and they do it for the money, because people need them to earn a living in order to take care of their families. And the models that we are talking about today in terms of ESOPs, in terms of worker-owned industries, is a very, very different model. And it's a model that says, you know what, a worker is more than just a worker. A worker has brains. A worker can and should be part of the entire process. A worker should be able to contribute to figuring out how that company can be more efficient, more profitable, more productive. And that's what ESOPs are about. And all of the information we have about ESOPs and worker-owned industry tells us, in fact, that they work. When people feel good about the work that they do, absenteeism is much less, worker productivity is much higher. And people feel good not only when they're on the job, but they feel good about their lives when they leave the job. So I think what we have here are business models that we can and should expand all over this country. When people own or are part of the business they have, they're probably not going to shut it down and move to China. Could be wrong, but that's what I think. That was a joke. So what do we have to do? Well, we got to do a couple of things. And I know that in Vermont, we have been very active on this issue. But I think there are two things that we have to do that we have introduced legislation to do. Right now, as many of you may know, we have programs here in Congress, among other things, called the Export-Import Bank, and there are other types of banks which serve the function of helping businesses do certain types of things. Well, in my view, we need a bank to help businesses and workers figure out a way that how they can do ESOPs. And that's something we're going to be doing. Second of all, several years ago in Vermont, some of us brought money, Senator Leahy and I brought money into the state to begin the Vermont Employee Ownership Organization. And the function of that organization is to go around the state explaining to businesses how they can make that transition. Because a lot of people, frankly, are not familiar with the concept that we're talking about. How do you do it? What kind of tax benefits are available to you, et cetera, et cetera. And that organization has done a pretty good job, but we need organizations like this all over the country. Now, my own guess is that the concepts that we're talking about today are extraordinarily popular if people learned about them. Okay. And I think what is kind of sad is probably you have many businesses in America today, small, moderate-sized businesses that were started by 1-2 people, did well, the original owner is about to retire, and everything being equal, that owner would just as soon leave the business if he or she could to the workers. But very often they don't know how to do that, they don't know what the tax advantages are, and there may not be the advantages that they can. So I think the model that says that working people should have a say in the jobs that they do is something that can and is resonating throughout this country. So I just want to thank all of you for what you do, and we look forward to working with you, and I look forward in everything to be talking about what you do. Again, I think we have huge potential. I know we've been expanding in recent years, but we can do even further. So just thank you all very, very much for what you do. See you.
Senator Sanders, and I'm going to say the one thing I'm going to say that relates to the ESOP Association is that back in the day, remember, we all used to trek up to the congressional reception up in D.C., up at the Capitol, and I didn't know anybody back then. Nobody talked to me, and I would go up there, and we always invited all the congressmen and the senators, and as you know, only a few would show, and I would literally stand in the corner hoping, that one of my 3 would show. Every year, without fail, Senator Sanders showed up. And once again, today, he announces his presidency last week, and I'm like, oh,
you're here.
And I said, is he going to show up? And so as of today, he's once again rewarding me by showing up and rewarding all of us because he's an outstanding advocate for employee ownership, and Vermont is a testament to that.
Right, and let me just add, do we have folks from King Arthur Flour here?
Yeah,
Gardner Supply?
Yep.
All right, they have half the people here from Gardner Supply. These guys do a great job. Karis Reel here? There we go, okay. I mean, we have some companies in Vermont, there are others who are doing a fantastic job, and we're really proud in our small state to be helping to be one of the leaders in the country in this. And Cindy, thanks so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.